Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror movie and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2021's The Black Phone, which was directed by Scott Derrickson. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
And also we just want to say, I know we had Dominic Berger, one of our longtime guests and our Stephen King expert. He was going to be the guest today. But unfortunately, he is a little under the weather. It's also my fault. I screwed up the scheduling, so very upset that we couldn't have him on tonight. But, you know.
I think it's all your fault, if I do say so.
It kind of is. I'm gonna pull the birthday card. So you can't get too mad at me, because it's my birthday. So, sorry, not sorry.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Oh, my God. Thank you.
A very special Wheel of Horror birthday.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better movie. No, I actually like this. This was sick. This was really cool. And it came out, I think it came out in 2021, but it was like, worldwide release in 2022. And I never saw it because I knew we were going to do it for the podcast. And I was like, I want to wait until we do it. So I'm glad I did. Never knew anything about it. And here we are. So this is your first time too, right?
Yes. And dude, I freaking loved this movie.
Nice.
Freaking loved it. It was so cool.
Good. Let's hear it. Well, like, why? Let's lay it on.
I don't know. It felt like a Stephen King thing. It wasn't written by Stephen King. It was written by
his son.
Yeah. But like you feel like that derivative, it's new, but it's still like a Stephen King kind of movie. It's so cool, dude. So cool.
It felt like ChatGPT wrote a Stephen King book.
Yeah, pretty much.
It took a lot of things from Stephen King's tropes or whatever, and then just because dude, there's a shot where the grabber or whatever with his balloons. I'm like, that just looks like Pennywise with black balloons. There was little things like that,
Yeah, they were black purple balloons almost.
Yeah, but the kids and just the abusive father, and it was just a lot of things that you're like, this is you can see
it's a lot similar.
But it's not bad or anything like that. But it is it feels like a Stephen King movie, but just a little off.
It wasn't Denver. This was a Denver suburb.
And actually, apparently the book takes place in, I think, Indiana or Illinois. So they just moved that there for the movie.
Stephen King's greeting him and saying, that's a good book, but I really think we should do Maine. What do you think about Maine?
Yeah, so they did move it though because the book it does take place somewhere differently. So I know it's gonna suck, dude, because I kind of was like, oh, we have Dom coming on, so he's gonna be able to fill in so many blanks.
I know. I wanted the stuff. I wanted more of the. What you didn't know, Eric.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to fill in a little bit, but I don't know almost anything about the book.
Yeah.
The one major difference I heard is there's only one ghost kid that talks through the black phone. It's just that Bruce, the guy that gets abducted in the beginning, it's only him. So that's a huge difference between the movie and
the pitcher who's your arm's mint.
Mm-hmm. That kid was the only ghost kid. So
interesting.
But I liked that they had multiple ones. I don't know.
Yeah, the pinball wizard kid, I could have done without.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Let's walk through it a little bit then, so we're not jumping around too much. I'll just give a really brief recap of the film here. So basically, it takes place in the late 70s. There's a kid. He's really great at baseball. He's a great pitcher. His name, what the hell is his name? Oh my God. Finney. So Finney is, so he's the lead. He's a little kid. There's abductions that are happening in this small town. Nobody knows what's going on, but they think it's a black van that's just grabbing people. The sister of Finney, who's Gwen, she's the other lead, basically. She's has psychic abilities, and she thinks she knows what's going on, and she tries to tell their father, but he's an abusive alcoholic. He doesn't want to hear about it. So eventually, Finney gets captured, brought to the grabber's house, and basically the sister has the psychic powers. They're trying to find him because all these other kids go missing, and now finally Finney's gone missing, and we see Finney dealing with being abducted in the basement, and Ethan Hawke playing the grabber. Basically, we'll pick off from there, I think. An abduction occurs, and we deal with the abduction. Yeah. So there's a black phone in the basement, and it's weird because the black phone, the cord's cut, so no calls come through, but it's just a weird. Why do you think it's down there? Why do you think that Ethan Hawke's character, the grabber, even leaves the black phone down there?
I'm trying to think why a phone would be down in a basement in the first place.
And it's already cut, the cord's already cut, so he's expecting it not to work. So why wouldn't he just take it out of it's a broken phone.
Well, we don't really know what this basement was before, so we just have to imagine that that's really cemented into the wall, so that that phone, he has it there because it's probably really hard to take out.
Okay, all right, so he can't remove the phone from the wall. Sure, okay.
It's in the wall. It's not like a phone that you can move from like a table. It looked like it was in the wall, like almost like a payphone.
Okay, but at the end, Finney uses it as like a beating device.
Well, he cuts the cord
Right.
to it. Yeah, the phone is disconnected, but it's still like in the wall. So it's like, all right, whatever this phone was, maybe I don't know why it's in the wall so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But like literally, that's one of the only things in that room. There's some carpet rolled up. There's a window that's really barred off. It's like it's a really there's a toilet so the kid doesn't piss and shit everywhere. Yeah, but there's not a lot of stuff in that room. Like he made it so that it's impossible to get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the room's scary. Obviously, it's like everybody's worst nightmare. You get locked in some chamber basically, and you have a shitty bed on the floor, food that you don't know if it's drugged, like all this stuff. But dude, that window, are you kidding me? He didn't block it out. Like, you could see through, you could see the light, and people, if like, let's say somebody happened to walk past the house, they could look down and see a kid in a basement. Like,
well, apparently it's soundproofed, so he might have like, I don't know, any kind of. It's really hard to look into a basement like that. From walking by, you would have to like be in the window to look down into that basement.
Remove any chance of that happening, though.
Yeah, you gotta just block that window completely.
Yeah, if a dog like runs by, like, get back here, John, and you run, and you see that, or a kid hits a baseball, anything, dude. If you're, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of as like a murdering, capturing guy. Like, you wouldn't even give yourself a chance to get caught, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he could break that window. Like, he breaks the gate or whatever. Like, he climbs up there, breaks the gate down or whatever. What if he just threw the gate at the window, smashes the window? It's like, help me! Like, that could have happened immediately. Here's my other major gripe, dude. So, the grabber, we find out his brother is also at the house, but the brother has no idea that the grabber is the grabber. So he thinks it's just his brother. The brother's a cokehead. He's drinking, so he's not like totally coherent or whatever. But, dude, when the kid starts digging in the ground and flushing the toilet every like 10 minutes or whatever, like, dude, if I hear a toilet flushing every 10 minutes at my house, and I hear the pipes going, I'm like, what the fuck is that sort of thing? Like,
well, he might not be there. He might not be there at the time.
Ever?
Because remember, no, he's not always in the house. Because remember, the brother comes over. He's like, oh, he went to get, and we see the grabber out at like a hardware store getting dirt to bury the kids.
I'm not even talking about the grabber. I'm talking about the brother. The brother's alone in the home because he's not.
No,
working.
he's not. No, he's not. He's in the house across the street. We learn. We get hold on. We get the impression that the brother is in that house, but we learn that the grabber actually buries the kids in the basement where his brother and him live. They have an additional house across the street, which is where he keeps the kid.
But Eric, no. So ready? Remember,
but the brother comes over.
Eric, remember when he's snorting the cocaine and the camera pans down and it goes right into the basement? So he's right underneath the brother snorting cocaine. You're right. They have the house across the street, but that's where he buries the bodies. It's totally empty. The brother and the grabber aren't staying there. They're staying at the house where the kid is in, and the kid is flushing the toilet constantly to get the dirt down. So if the grabber doesn't hear it, his fucking brother should hear it. You know?
I would say that's one. If that's true, I'm trying to remember the shot. Maybe that was just the director's cheap way of like making a stink he's in the same house. But
dude,
you're right. You're right.
The camera shows the brother snorting cocaine off the coffee table and then slowly pans down and goes right through the floor into the basement, and the kid is directly below him. It's soundproof, sure. You can't hear him screaming, you can't hear anything like that, totally whatever. But the toilet flushing, you would hear that and you'd be like, I'm alone in this house, why is the pipes constantly going all the time? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess that's the one real, like, that doesn't make sense.
I know. I don't want to do that, but
I don't know why my brain is thinking you still might be wrong about this, and the brother lives across the street. And he buries the bodies in the basement with his brother.
Not with his brother. No, because dude, remember when the cops break into that house? It's completely empty.
I might have to watch this again just to make sure.
Watch it again.
But yeah. That's wild. So let me see. I'm reading.
We don't have to get too hung up on it. I mean,
no, I don't want it. But it's gonna take away from this movie a little bit.
Yeah, let's read. You want to read it? So Finney, let's see. Okay, here we go. It is revealed Finney is in the clueless Max's basement, and the grabber is his brother. Finney speaks to another victim, Griffin, on... Oh. Max realizes Finney is being held in the house and rushes to the basement to free him, only for his brother to kill him. Ugh. All right, let's not get too hung up on this, because I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, and you...
I think you're right about the shot, but I think that's where the director's trying to trick us. I really think the brother's across the street, and he's only staying with him temporarily.
Yeah, because they never mention. I was just looking into this too much, and I was like, dude, if I hear a toilet flushing like every 10 minutes, we're like, what the fuck's going on? But anyways, so yeah, so the kid's stuck down in there. The sister has these psychic powers, and she's trying to like tell her dad. She's like, I think I know where he is. And the dad, he's a drunk. The mom, did she die? Oh yeah, she like went crazy.
She killed herself. She killed herself because she was hearing voices.
Right. So now he's afraid that the daughter's also has the same problem or whatever. So he's just like at his wit's end, dude. And the dad's played by Daniel Faraday
from Lost. Yeah, dude, he looks great. He looks great. Played a great drunk, abusive father. That's for sure. Yeah. Definitely a variety role for him.
Jeremy Davies, yeah.
In Lost, he's such a timid, like, he couldn't hurt a fly kind of character.
Yeah, now he's whipping his daughter with a belt. Like, dude.
Yeah. Well, here's my take, and this is what I was picking up from it. And we just mentioned that the mother took her life because she was hearing voices. The daughter doesn't really hear voices. She has dreams and psychic powers. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that mother has a son, too, and that's Finney. And Finney is hearing voices. So I think the mother's genetic powers is passed to both kids.
You mean the shine?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Pretty much. I mean, it is God damn it, back to Stephen King again.
Yeah. No, you're right, though. So, yeah, that's a good... I didn't think about that. So maybe he's only hearing the voices because of his mother's psychic ability that's also inherited into him. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. I didn't think about that.
Because the daughter isn't really hearing voices. He is. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and they mentioned the mom was hearing voices. So
the daughter's just psychic, but this, yeah.
And now those two are going to bond and be like the new Ed and Lorraine Warren of like psychic stuff. I don't know.
It's kind of weird though. Like, yeah, the phone, the static electricity, they say it is what is able to make it ring, but the grabber doesn't hear it ringing, or pretends he doesn't at least.
The grabber mentioned he heard it ring once, and he said it was static, which really interested me. I was like, so the grabber heard it ring once. Mm-hmm. And he also says at one point, do you hear that ringing? Remember at the beginning when he's first talking with Finney? Mm-hmm. And he leaves and goes upstairs?
Yeah.
It's like, it's very thought-provoking. I'm trying to figure it out while watching it. And that's why I loved it, because it was really keeping me very engaged. I feels like I can't miss a minute of this movie. I'm going to miss a plot point.
Well, before we get into Ethan Hawke and the grabber and like that, just the whole, character or whatever, the one thing that I just wanted to talk about was like, dude, bullying seemed a lot more intense in the 70s and 80s. Like, there was always bullying when we were kids and stuff like that too. But Jesus Christ, these are like legit street fights.
You think that, I mean, we went to high school and like, yeah, there was cyberbullying, which is a whole nother level of bullying where you get bullied, you don't even know who's bullying you. It's faceless. Like, that is a whole nother layer of bullying. But this is like literally kids beating the shit out of each other in the playground and stuff. Ugh. Where if that happened, like, the cops would be involved. Like, today it does that shit doesn't fly, at least around here.
Dude, the one scene, obviously there's tons of fighting in this movie, like it's just constant kids like getting in fistfights or whatever. Dude, there's one scene where the sister Gwen like smashes one of the bullies in the head with a rock.
Couldn't kill him.
I thought she did kill him. He's sitting there like holding his head like completely stunned, blood's just coming out, and they just kind of brush over that. I'm like, I think that kid's dead.
No, he's gonna have the brain pain for a while.
Like fractured his skull.
He's gonna, like, when he's 50, he's like, fuck, that time I got hit in the rock. It really is, like, starting to make me have to drink out of a straw.
Dude, like, why? Like, there's just so much unnecessary bullying in this town. But anyways, it's a Stephen King son movie. Anyways.
No, I was gonna say, like, I love that Robin character. I don't want to get too far into that, but I like that he had a buddy who was protecting him and keeping the other multiple bullies away from him because he's such a badass. He's small, but this kid knows how to fight because his dad was in Vietnam. And it makes you think, like, man, the grabber got this kid. And this kid seemed like a tough cookie, Mm-hmm. And I like the scene where he's just like, I'm having really trouble with math. And, like, he's like, can you help me, Finney? And he's like, you always explain it so much better. Because Finney's smart, which Robin's not as smart. And I think that's why Finney ultimately survives. Because I could see Robin pretty much kicking ass with the grabber. Like, I picture him putting up a fight with the grabber. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't have the idea of, like, I'm going to set up a tripwire and he's going to fall in my hole that I gave up on because I can't dig under the foundation. So I'm going to use this hole as a way to... He literally puts, like, a stick on it, thinking that this stick in the hole is going to mess up his foot in some way. That's some smart thinking. That's what I was seeing. Like, and he breaks his ankle. So it's like, and then he took what Robin said about the phone and the dirt. freaking he put it all together. But that's because it's like I got Robin's kick-ass teaching behind me, but I also have my smarts around. I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah, they were able to cherry pick like different, strengths in each of the ghosts and apply it to that. And the ghosts all want, Finney to succeed. They're like, we want you to take the motherfucker that got us down.
And he takes the string that one other kid told him that had a wire with the window, and he takes it and he pretty much breaks his neck with it. Mm-hmm. So he uses all the pieces. I just freaking love that.
Well, now that I knew that the book only has I think it's just Bruce or whatever, so he never had Robin, he never had all these other people. I kind of like it more in the movie because you're right. It gives each of them have their own strengths to provide him with. It's not like one kid got so close and then died. It's like all these kids didn't get that far, but they all learned something that now he can use to fully escape.
Yeah, I'm just curious if Bruce was also Robin combined in the was Bruce because he didn't know Bruce in this really. They just pitched against him. And he remembered that one line, "Your arm is mint."
Mm-hmm. So yeah, unfortunately, Dom, that's where he would come in and be like,
yeah, that's the thing. And I would love to pick his brain. It's a bummer. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyways, so the grabber though, dude. So this is a small town in Colorado, and at least like 4 or 5 kids have gone missing in about a year, which is insane to me.
Well, that makes sense with the one kid then. Maybe the grabber only has like a couple kids, whereas this is like
it's crazy.
Like it's like you'd have the National Guard in this case.
Like you're like, okay, how many kids have gone missing in such a short period of time? Like, dude,
Oh, this would be national everywhere. Like
it's the 70s.
It's the 70s.
But still, I don't know. But anyway, so that's happening. Finney finally gets captured by the grabber, and the whole grabber thing is just weird. He's a guy in a black van. He looks like a magician, but like an evil magician. He's got black balloons, and he sprays him with some knockout gas, throws him in the trunk, and I don't know what it was, man. I wasn't really scared of Ethan Hawke. I was more intrigued by him, and I was like, the mask is pretty creepy, and his attitude's creepy, but I wasn't really terrified of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Like, he creeped me out when he was wearing the mask and he's had his shirt off and sitting in the chair. Mm-hmm. I forgot what the game was called. That's when he likes to play, what was the game?
Naughty Boy?
Naughty Boy.
Or Naughty something, yeah.
Yeah, and that also brings in the dog component, because he says, are you being a naughty boy? And he's like... The dog was part of the Naughty Boy game, which is messed up.
Well, he wasn't playing the game. That was the whole point, dude.
Yeah,
he would leave the door. I bet that the food had drugs in it that were going to make him like not able to fight, but he knew he could escape, because he left the door unlocked, and then right when he got up there, that's when the game starts.
It makes you think too, like maybe the drugs are like triggering his psychic ability. And he's like thinking he's hearing these voices, but really it's like a mix of drugs and really cool, like thought-provoking storytelling.
Yeah, so I mean, you do have to fill in a little bit of the blanks of the grabber. Like, obviously, they're like, he has rules and you're not playing his game, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
don't go upstairs.
Yeah.
Don't go upstairs.
But I want to know what those rules are. And the other thing is, like, dude, if the grabber is going to play these games and sit in that chair with his shirt off and just being like, I can't wait for him to come up. Dude. If it's been 2 hours, go lock the door. If you're potentially gonna fall asleep, dude, just go lock the door. What are you doing?
It made me think too, because like I one of the things I hate is like Deep South voodoo stuff. It's like my least favorite thing. I was curious, like, does he have any satanic, like Deep South stuff going on? Because you get a sense of like magician magic. Like I got a sense of that, and the way he was like kind of. What animal was he? Like he. I don't know.
It's like a devil.
A horn on or something.
It was almost like when he was in a good. It was like the Shakespeare masks or whatever, like the happy face for the theater and the sad face for theater. But it was like whenever something good or bad, like his face would change. And
that's another thing I love for Dom's perspective. Like where's this grabber where's this all coming from? Is it like satanic? Is it? I don't know.
His brother doesn't know anything about him. We don't know anything about his background. Like, there's so many questions that I do feel like the book probably fills in, because the grabber doesn't feel like a fully developed character. It feels like we get tastes of, like, he's weird. He's like, everything is going wrong. Like, he just says weird things, but then leaves. So you're like, he seems like he's not doing this because he wants to, but because he has to. But I don't know. But then the one time that the kid actually does escape, he figures out the lock combo because he's told it from one of the ghosts. He sneaks upstairs when the grabber falls asleep, and he sneaks out. The grabber runs out and grabs him when he gets out into the street or whatever, and he's like, I'm going to fucking gut you like a pig or whatever. That was the line where I was like, ooh, okay, this guy is crazy.
I mean, wouldn't you think if you're the grabber, how the hell did you figure out a bike lock?
Right?
Like, how did you know that bike lock?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I would want to know from this kid.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't know about anything else, but you don't figure out a bike lock that quickly.
And also, dude, he's not gonna walk downstairs and be like, things seem amiss in here. Like he lets the kid have so much freedom.
What happened to the window? Why is the bar on the ground?
Right. I don't remember if that was kind of towards the end.
He probably hid the bars and hoped that the grabber didn't see the bar off of it. That's the only thing.
But the way the light shines in with the bars is so noticeable, dude. So it's like, I don't know. I need to watch it again to see if, like, at that stage, had the grabber already gone crazy? Like, has his brother already been killed by that point? I don't really remember.
I think he was preoccupied with his brother, because he does seem like things aren't going right. And he's saying he's getting close to finding out, like you just said.
Don't let your brother stay there, then. Come up with any excuse to not let your brother stay there. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's his job? What's the grab? Like, there should have been a scene at the end. It's just like, this guy was named, like, John Johnson, and he worked at fucking Target. Or, like, I want to know what this guy is.
I mean, this brother is ultimately, like, you go over to the brother, he's like, I'm getting close to figuring out the grabber. He has to be here. It's like, hey, how about this? I have to focus this weekend. Why don't I put you up in a hotel for the next few days?
Yeah.
Like,
he's paying 2 mortgages, so clearly this guy has enough money to afford a house across the street and the house right there, and he's letting his brother live in this house who's actively trying to figure out who's doing it. It's like, what? Wait.
I'm assuming, like, a lot of families, and today too, the grandparents live, their parents, so they probably were raised by their parents in the house across the street and the grandparents. So maybe something happened where both the grandparents and their parents passed away.
Okay.
And they inherited all this money to just get by.
So, to that point, why wouldn't the brother get the house? Like, I'm taking the house across the street. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
I'm telling you, man, I don't want to get into it again and get tied up. I'm pretty sure the brother had one house, and that's where the grabber buried the bodies.
He said he was staying with his brother.
I don't get it. I
know, because we're picking apart the holes. That's what's happening.
I know.
We found the holes and we're picking them apart. It's not good.
This is where we need Dom. Dom, love you.
All right, anyways.
Damn it. I'm going to talk to you after.
We'll move on past that, like the stuff that we're having trouble getting past. But yeah, so the way that it ends basically is Robin, Bruce, all the kids, they give Finney enough skills to beat the grabber. So the grabber comes down. He's like, I'm fucking done. I have white hair now. Half my face is showing. Let's go. So he brings the dog down there too. And he's like, I'm going to kill you right now. So the kid is smart enough to know to run to the bathroom where he's dug the hole to then use the grate from the window as something where when the grabber falls through the hole, he's going to land very awkwardly and it's going to break his leg. So that all happens. Finney then uses the black phone, and beats him to death, basically.
And the wire or whatever that was found to just help strangle, too.
Right.
And to get out of the dog, he grabs a piece of meat from the freezer. So there's all the things these people helped him with, the victims, through the black phone, made him escape.
Yeah, so, like, that's really cool. So he ends up getting out, and at that time, though, his sister is also dealing with the police. She's basically doing what Cartman does in that South Park episode, where she's like, I see things, and, like, the police use her as, like, a psychic to find out what's going on. She finds the house, but it's across the street, and then they go into, like, there's nobody in here, or whatever, and they go in the basement, and they find all the graves, or whatever. So then Finney, who's already killed the grabber, comes out, like, looking like shit, like, pale, just like, I'm so...
Wearing the same clothes that he was abducted in.
Yeah.
Like, he must stink like absolute dog shit.
So he gets out, looking like hell, smelling like hell. Sister finds him, police find him, they go in, and it's all over, or whatever. Wonder what happens to the dog.
I mean, the dog seems like it survived, obviously.
Yeah, but what happens to it?
Probably the dog starts barking at the cops, and the cops put it down.
They just kill it.
I mean, that's one thing I think. I also think about, like, all right, so how's Finney going to explain how he escaped? There's a phone and this. It's like, okay, well, how about this? There's this thing called a psych ward, Finney, we're going to bring you to. He obviously doesn't tell the cops anything.
Maybe.
Because he ends up in school pretty close to right after, it feels like.
Oh, dude, I hated the ending. He just walks in with all this confidence. Everyone's like, that's the guy that fucking got away. And then it's like, he sits with the girl he has a crush on. I was like, wait.
No, but he goes like, she's like, hey, Finney. He's like, you can call me Finn. So, like, he's reborn. Like, he's not like, oh, Mikey. It's like, no, it's Mike. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get it, but like, dude, he's gonna have some serious trauma. He killed somebody. He was held captive. Like, he's seen some shit, dude.
His like one of his like I don't know if it was his best friend, but Robin like seemed like one of his best friends is also killed.
Dude,
like that sucks.
His mom
that's horrible.
Killed herself. Like, this kid is gonna have some problems.
I think there's a couple like there's not caveats, but like the dad seems like he's turning around. He seems like I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really got a sense like the dad's gonna stop drinking and beating the shit out of them and start being a father.
Yeah, right.
That's one. That's what you get. That's what you get at that scene. Like he like is on his knees, like being kind to his kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get that. 2, he goes to school and people aren't messing with him because they know Robin, Bruce, all these other the pinball wizard kid who was like obviously tough shit too, couldn't escape the grabber. Finn did, so kids aren't gonna mess with him. They're gonna respect the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
3, that's all I got actually right now. But I mean, those are 2 things. But also like you kind of want to keep going and move forward for all these victims and stuff too. Like I'm sure he's like Robin wouldn't want me to just wallow, and you know he would want me to bask in it a little bit.
Oh, listen, I like that it ends on an upper, but I think that he's gonna have a lot of trouble in the future just from what he dealt with.
I mean, the fact that like how did I escape? People were Robin was talking to me through a phone and he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he's also buried next to the next door house. He's gonna attend his funeral. Like there's all this shit you think about. Like, oh man, this kid's not gonna be okay. But he seems like he's been through enough where he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we hope so. One of the absolute coolest parts of this movie, though, dude, and I hope you agree, is when I think it's when the grabber's brother figures it out, and "On the Run" by Pink Floyd starts from Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, and the cop cars are coming.
Oh, dude, that was like the best song they could have chosen for like how like tense it was getting. It's like,
you know what's even cooler?
Good. What?
The 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon is this week.
Ooh, dude.
Wow.
I mean, let's just say really quick, that album in We're 16 changed our
lives.
It really did.
Changed our lives.
I have a framed album in my bedroom right now. Like, that album, 50 years later, is still...
We would like, I don't want to get into it, with just in the dark, just listen to that album.
Dude, we went
to like
wrong.
a Laser Floyd show. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, it was a great, whatever, smoking totally legal pot. It was fine. But it was super fun, and, like, yeah, dude, so I thought that scene was so cool, and it was great for us, because I'm like, dude, like, that album, like, definitively was like, dude, I'll never forget that moment, listening to that album at that time, like, yeah.
Carlos's basement,
yep.
Good times.
Dude, looking in mirrors and shit, it was fun.
Do you remember the time, like, we were in the dark, and, like, it was bedtime, and you, like, ran into the bed with me?
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's someone here, You, like, poked me in the eye. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You remember that?
I do. Dude, it was
and you're like, you couldn't see anything, so you're like running, hitting the air with your hands, like, I can't see, and like you just like smack me in the face. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, there's something here.
Dude, we were in Carlos's basement. It's pitch black. We're smoking weed or whatever, and literally we're asleep. And yeah, I run because I'm like,
I just hear, what's that? Who's there? And you just like jump over the couch and just like, you like hit me in the. Oh, it's classic.
I couldn't even see where the couch was. It was like the scene from Jackass Forever.
Well, it was like an under the stairs kind of like Harry Potter couch.
Yeah,
the bed I was on. You just like ran full speed
Dude,
into it.
I thought I saw something like we're like whatever.
Yeah,
but
maybe you did.
I do remember that. Yeah. But anyway, so that song was amazing in the movie. It just had a good 70s soundtrack. Like, I don't know. I like this movie. It was good.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I really want to watch it again.
For sure. I feel like this has like a lot of replay value.
And I will lock in where that brother was staying.
Yeah. No, we really should. Let's watch that again and figure that out. Last thing, just want to say also the director, Scott Derrickson, he did Sinister, which we've covered on here.
That makes sense. I got it. Yeah, I can connect those two movies and how they were shot. Yep.
Well, you got Ethan Hawke. You've got the brother, Max, or whatever. He's Officer Sobody or Nobody or whatever. I can't remember. But both of those guys are in it. And also it's just... remember all like the Super 8 shots in the beginning where it's like just showing random stuff? Like it was very similar to Sinister. So I like this director. I think he does a good job. Scott Derrickson.
Last thought, the little girl Gwen, I think her name was, right?
Yep.
When the cops like bring her in, like, why are you making this so hard on yourself by being like, why don't you like, what if she's just swearing at the cops and stuff? It's like, that is not going to get you out of this room any faster.
Yeah, she had a real attitude. No,
but that's cool. Like, she knew that there were balloons,
mm-hmm.
and the cops were like, we didn't disclose that information. Who'd you hear it from?
Your mom.
How do you answer that? Just like, I don't know. There's rumors around school. I forgot who told me. Who told you? I don't remember. Like, we all talk.
Yeah. Dude, I have such a boner for, like, 70s detective cops who are just like, you know, I'm on the fucking beat, smoking, drinking, just, like, I love the, like True Detective, these cops, like, this is, like, I cannot get enough of stuff like that. Grizzled old 70s cops who just can't handle it anymore.
Everyone is having marital problems. Every single cop.
Yep. I love it, dude. I have a fantasy of living a life like that someday. I never will, obviously, but, you know.
Pretty much the officer in South Park as well. Like, what's his name?
Oh, Officer Murphy?
Officer McMurphy or something.
Yeah.
Get off my back! I've had a long day. You don't even know what I saw.
Dude, like, yeah, when I watch, like, Mindhunter or when I watch True Detective Season 3, like, for some reason, 70s beat cops, like, the detectives, they're smoking constantly, they're drinking, like, oh, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, like, even Heat, dude. I love Al Pacino in Heat.
Yeah, something
like,
about
he's another good detective. He's like, when he comes home, his wife's giving him a hard time. He's like, I don't talk to you about my job. I got a dead baby in the microwave. You want to hear about that? Do you want to? Like, it's like, damn, Al Pacino dropping dimes.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what it is. I like it.
I love that kind of detective shit. Like, shit I could never handle. I'd be such a bitch.
Oh, I couldn't do it either. Yeah, I couldn't do it either. But I have a I romanticize it. But anyways, you got any last minute thoughts on the Black Phone?
Really good. I can't wait to watch this again. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And this was adapted from a 2004 book that Joe Hill wrote. So I was like, Joe Hill, let's get some more of your movies out there. This one was good.
Stoked on Ethan Hawke, too. I'm like an Ethan Hawke guy now. Like, I wasn't, now I am.
Dude, Sinister, The Purge, this. Like, he's doing some horror. He's really doing some horror, you know? So, anyways, why don't you spin the old wheel there?
Yes, we shall. All right. Spinning. Orphan.
Okay.
Orphan.
Great.
It's not The Orphan, it's just Orphan.
Perfect. I've seen this movie. I'm excited to talk about it with you. I think you're going to like it.
This is my first time seeing this one.
Perfect. Well, again, sorry to Dom. It was totally my fault. I mean, not him getting sick, but just, me screwing up yesterday.
Feel better, Dom. Yeah. I love you.
But thank you, everybody, for listening in. If you haven't had a chance yet, we released our episode on Vacancy last week, so you can check that out. And we will see you all next week with Orphan.